Good evening. It's Thursday, the 30th of December 2021. I'm Dawd Army. This is Yarright News on Yarright TV. Now, in 2020, we all know the government fucked it. But coronavirus and vaccines that came at the end of the year drew attention away from all the balls up. Now, the balls ups from lockdowns, from track and trace, eat out to help out, how Nightingale hospitals were never used, how the availability of PPE was a major concern at the beginning of the year. Now, the list went on and on and on. But fear, which was instilled by the government and the media throughout 2020, distracted attention away from all their incompetence. Yeah? So let's see how 2021's done for the government. Let's have a look. So in January, after weeks of delaying, using the ridiculous tier system, cancelling Christmas get-togethers, we were put into a third lockdown. And schools were shut just days after the Health Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, threatened to take legal action against a school in London that was threatening to close. The councils were threatening to close all the schools because of a COVID outbreak. And then they U-turned on their pledge that summer exams in 2021 would definitely go ahead. Now, by this time, 32 billion of taxpayers' money had been spent on the track and trace system so far. Now, in February, it emerged that Tory donors, in exchange for whatever they wanted, paid for a refurbishment of London number 10, totalling £120,000. Now, the government denied this for months. They goes, no, it wasn't paid for like that. And then they're finally found guilty, and they were fined a poxy £17,000 for failing to declare donations properly. So basically that was brushed under the carpet. Then the Delta variant came, originating in India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Now, it was declared concerning 2 months later by the UK government, by which it had already covered all of the UK, and the countries India, Pakistan and Bangladesh were put on the red list finally in mid-April, 2 months after it started coming out. So in March, a public sector pay rise was frozen. So all people working in the public, police and teachers, frozen wages. And after all the NHS had done, clap for clavers on a Thursday, they were overworked, they were stressed, 80 hours a week. They were offered a 1% pay rise by the government. Is that a fucking joke? Then it was proven that Boris had assured James Dyson in 2020 that if any of his staff come to work in the UK to make defibrillators and ventilators, yeah, they wouldn't have to pay any tax. Then the government tried to pass a bill where all British soldiers would be immune to prosecution for torture and genocide. Can you fucking believe that? Yet, luckily, it was brushed under the carpet, yeah? Then Dominic Cummings spoke to MPs about the government and ripped them apart, mate. Repeatedly ignored advice. They were anti-lockdown. They failed to take COVID seriously. And then we had racism show its head. So leading up to the Euros, in international friendlies, there was a lot of racism from all the fans, etc. in Hungary and places like that. So the players decided to take the knee in a show of solidarity and to bring the issue to light. And what did the government do? PM said he was more focused on action rather than gestures. Then that Kutti Haramdi Priti Patel called it gesture politics. Bastards. Then they backtracked on it all and U-turned the fuckers. Then Matt Hancock fucking resigned. Now the PM backed him. Matters closed. He resigns. PM U-turns and tries to claim fucking credit all for himself again, the cunt. In July, foreign aid was cut heavily. And self-isolating Brits saw both Boris and Rishi trying to dodge self-isolation by claiming to be part of the pilot scheme when they were called not self-isolated. Fucking bullshitters. Then we had the shambles in Afghanistan. Remember, suddenly, everyone pulls out of Afghanistan. They left thousands and thousands of people stranded. And the Deputy PM relaxed on holiday in Crete while all this happened when he should have been in the UK sorting it out, the fucking twat. Then we were given a ridiculous traffic light system for travel. Then in September, we had no HGV drivers, key food shortages, panic buying at petrol stations, and all caused by poor handling of Brexit by the Conservative government over 2 years previously. Then there was a U-turn on national insurance hikes. So there was not going to be a hike in national insurance, which they pledged at the manifesto. Now they're putting national insurance up, and they're using the money that they're putting it up by, they're making out that it's going to be paying for all the care homes and everything. Now the care homes, we feel they've lost nearly 100,000 people due to death, old age people who've died in the care homes. So the government has saved absolutely millions on the care as it is, yet they're putting up national insurance to pay for the care homes. What a load of fucking bollocks. And then they had a U-turn on not axing the pension triple lock scheme. So there's a U-turn on that where they're trying to axe it, yeah, so we get less money, the bastards. Then in October, $5 billion was cut to universal credit and inflation began to rise heavily, but they just totally denied it and ignored it. Then Boris tried to rip up ethics rules and block a 30-day suspension on Conservative MP Owen Paterson for lobbying breaches. So what was happening was these fuckers, yeah, they've got a job, then they've got another job, then they've got a fucking other job, then they've got a property, then they've got a rented property, then they've got another property, then the fuckers employ their own fucking family to do the fucking jobs, then they claim all expenses for all that, they make shitloads of money, they're basically taking the piss out of all of us. And then in December, we had the parties at Number 10 while we were all in lockdown. Now, do you remember when the Queen, her husband's funeral, she sat there on her own and how sad it was watching it all. And she was doing what's right, which made all of us think we should do what's right. And what were the fucking Number 10 doing? Having fucking parties, the bastards. You know what I mean? And for a week, they denied these parties ever happened. Then a video came out. The PM threw his staff under the bus with his spokeswoman resigning, even though she didn't even attend any of these fucking parties. You know what I mean? So the government, again, not held accountable. Now, with Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland all unveiling stricter restrictions post-Christmas, Boris has not. But he hasn't ruled out any restrictions in January. So basically, he's left us in England all uncertain as to what's going to happen as we enter 2022, which is exactly how we began 2021. Now, this government, 2022, looks like another year of taking the piss and getting away with it, unless we do something. Now, remember, we're not here to change your mind, yeah? We're not here to change your mind. We're here to spark your mind. Get your mind fucking working. It's your duty as a parent, as a family member, as a fucking human being to research and question everything and not blindly trust everything. Doctors are not the authority. Teachers are not the authority. The government is not the authority. You are. You're responsible for researching everything and making proper, honest decisions based on what you learn. Not what these fuckers tell you on the fucking news. You know what I mean? If you open your mind, your brain won't fall out. That years of conditioning will. You know what I'm saying? For fuck's sake. Government bunch of fucking wankers. I'm Dad Army. This is Yeah Right News on fucking Yeah Right TV. Fucking Yeah Right.